What it do? What it do? I may cuss, but I don't curse. Let's get that situated first. Benjamin back with another video for us. Talking about relationships. Let's keep it going. But not only relationships, but about frequencies in relationships. I know you've heard before about how people want someone to match their frequency when it comes to relationships, you know? We use it a lot often. It's like slang for some of us, but let's talk about the physics description real quick because I think it ties into what we determine it to be slang anyway. And in physics, frequency basically just talks about the amount of times that something occurs. You know what I mean? The frequency level, how many times it exists, how many times it happens, how many times things are repeated, especially like when it falls into a pattern, right? And this can pertain to like light waves, like we are light beings, right? So it's like the double slit experiment. You see how the waves go until it hits the point, and then you can be in different areas at one different time, you know, everything everywhere at one time, one place. That's more on the what do you call that? Well, multi-level, multi-dimensional type of level, dealing with metaphysics, but it ties into it too. But I'm not going to go that deep into it this time around anyway. But it does have a place. You know what I mean? It's trippy, but it does have a place because of the planetary orbits, right? We get solar returns every certain amount of days. We get Saturn returns every certain amount of years, so on and so forth. So the patterns lets you know that there's frequency in all of us. Hey, yo, that's crazy word. Pause, but you get what I'm saying, right? We actually repeatedly vibrate as beings, sound beings as well. The Taurus field shows us that. You ever seen that experiment where the Japanese researcher, he plays these sounds underneath these drum like pallets or whatever the case may be, and then the geometric shapes form underneath them, and they become these geometric patterns. You know what I'm saying? Just by vibrating sound. So that's another example of what frequency is. Now, it can also come in the form of electronics as well, like the current of electricity and things of that nature, the rate at which it pumps out voltage or what have you. So now that we got through the nerd part, right? Let's get to the what we determine to be slang. But see, we be knowing what we doing when we turn phrases and words into slang because it's something that's more spiritual, more encoded in us already. It's just we're just now catching up with it and saying it in a way that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But in neuroscience, even matching frequencies is basically matching up with someone who has similar tastes as you and can connect effortlessly while feeling safe. Now, the same thing can happen because we want to do this in a pattern, right? It's a pattern. It's the pattern that makes people feel safe with one another, right? Good morning texts get responded with good morning text. And the next thing you know, the more that occurs, the more you feel safe with that person. You get comfortable with the pattern. You say, this is my person, at least on that level, right? If we're talking mercurial, right? What type of relationship are we in? Let's not lose any of the information that we've gathered so far when the beginning of this whole relationship run began, or re-began, should I say, right? So we want to know what type of relationship we're in. If it's a mercurial thing, we get in a communicative type of pattern with someone, we start feeling safe with them. But there's a flip side to that. We can also feel unsafe because the frequency, the pattern is not something that we're used to. It's not something that we prefer, right? So it's like, okay, you get a good morning text. The other person doesn't send a good morning text back. It'd be 9 p.m. and they send a text back saying, hey, what you doing? And it's just like so off. It's just like, what do you mean? What are you doing? Say good night at least. Like, you know what I'm saying? Say something that resonates more with the text that I sent you. Like, what do you mean? What am I doing? Like, I text you good morning. What happened in the morning time? You understand what I'm saying? People start feeling unsafe in those types of instances, and that's just a small example. You know what I mean? But matching someone's frequency is having similar tastes, things that you have in common, commonalities. So it does have a correlation with the physics definition when you think about it due to the patterns. So sometimes in the patterns when people don't change, this is when the inconsistency occurs. So it's like I was saying in the Sagittarius video, right? How the Pisces dude wasn't consistent as he was in the beginning when it initially began. Now, it can be due to maybe feeling unsafe, like I said, not being able or fearful, not being able to match the frequency that the Sagittarius was putting out, the energy that was emitted, you know what I mean? The oscillation. And that would be an instance of where one's preferred frequency doesn't match, at least on that level, right? Maybe it's financial, maybe it's mercurial, I'm gonna just say Venusian, or maybe it's Saturn-like, maybe it's solar-like, you know what I mean? Maybe you can't keep up in some areas, but you can in others, you know what I mean? But there are instances where you do match frequencies on particular levels. That's the point that I'm trying to make right there, you know what I mean? Now, you think about this, right? As I said in the other video, what area in life do you think is the most frequent? Where do you find the most frequency, or where it's more bound for someone to be in frequency with you? Exactly. It's the workplace, B. It's the workplace. This is where you're going to spend most of your day, repetitiously, day in and day out, week after week, month after month, year after year, right? Textbook type anyway. You understand what I'm saying? The frequency level, the familiarity that's there, the security and the safety that comes from there, knowing that that building is there every day, knowing that work goes on, knowing that people are going to show up every day to do the same thing a lot of the times, knowing that people are going to get their paychecks at the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that work husband is there. Number one threat in your life, homie. Trust me when I tell you, because so much time is spent there in a frequent pattern that people can become comfortable with. And then the second one is, of course, back at home with you. But, you know, this can tie into being a family, you know what I'm saying? Being at home with the family, one another. But even then, when you think about it, the workplace gets more frequent time or frequent energy, let's talk in energy right now, than the home does. You know, especially if you got like after school programs for the kids, and then you got to pick one up and this one got to drop that one off. And by the time you do get home, it's like 6 or 7 p.m. And then it's just like, yo, turn on your favorite TV show that you could binge watch real quick while you're preparing dinner, and then it's go to bed. Sometimes you're too tired to fuck, and then you just can't wait to get back to see your work wife. I'm just keeping it a bean, you know what I mean? Bars. But, you know, what about broken homes? Are we just going to exclude that out of the whole equation, right? We're not even going to go there. Moving right along. Okay. Get that shattered dream out of the way, right? Let's not even go there, but moving right along. Here's the number one issue that I observed in relationships, and it's disregards frequencies, y'all. So and this goes for both genders, so just hear me out. But I pay more attention to the ladies because I'm a guy, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, it's because I've been MGTOW for a minute now. So it's kind of like, a no disrespect to your MGTOW, man. But it's like, once you heard one story, you've heard them all. I already know what the spill is with the men. I already know where we coming from. Pause, like, yo, this crazy work. But I do. And it's really the same story, or it just ranges between peaceful, being at peace with what it is what it is, or being rageful, like angry MGTOW. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck these hoes type shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but the number one thing that I've noticed is that people are not willing to deal with other people at the frequency that they meet them at. This is what I've been observing most, especially with the ladies. The ladies get too complaining, about people not being able to match their frequency. And it's like, ideally, that's a sign of ignorance, impatience, impracticality for sure. And it's like, when I hear the ladies talk, it's usually a standard that they want the men to meet them at. They want them to show some effort. They want you to plan the day. What do you mean, where do I want to go? You plan the day. Be a man. You know what I'm saying? Show me that you want me. Buy me flowers. What is wrong with you? Who raised you? Right? And I hear all of that, but it's usually the women who are complaining about this thing, or these things, are usually those who are well off, big spenders, doing well for themselves in the corporate world in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? They figured it out. They did that in that area. And the standard that they're holding is, if the man does not meet that frequency, they're calling him brokey. I'm just keeping it a bean. I'm telling you what I say. If y'all want me, I could go back to the podcast days when I was like getting the clips and putting them up and everything. Like, I got clips, you understand what I'm saying, of continuously women are complaining about this thing. So it's not something that I'm just making up to like be biased about, you know. But they want men to show effort. Now, the question that should be asked here, at least I'm asking, is, well, if you knew you had a standard and You were looking for someone to match your frequency. How did you become attracted to that man in the first place? Now, it's one or two things. If you did become attracted to that man, it's because there was something about him. It probably was looks, or it could have been him doing what he could with what he had. Maybe he's a family man and he's just getting by, but he's still showing up. You know what I mean? And this is like a lot of online appearances and stuff like that, which I'm about to get to in a minute. But you can see these things vividly online, or it could be even that you see the way that other women converse with that man while he's online, which can also be attractive. Trust me when I tell you, I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So all of the whole brokey thing, if you smelled broke from the beginning, like that should have been your red flag according to your standard, right or wrong? Okay, that's one question that I have. Second question, please get in the comment section if the shoe ever fits, right? But the other thing that I've noticed is that these women will say, well, these dudes only want me for my money. And I feel you, ma. I get that. There is another side to that. But here's the catch, right? My thing is this. Usually this happens online. This is where I see all of this information from, because I'm not bumping into broads and getting this in person from all of these broads. You know what I'm saying? This is the online stuff that goes on. Because of the internet, speaking of online, because of the internet, let me put y'all on to something. Because of the internet, a lot of guys, and I just got finished mentioning NATAL, a lot of guys feel like we're dating y'all already. Don't think that sounds totally weird. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Because your persona your profile is there. So all of the things that dating used to consist of, or why dating was even warranted in the beginning, was to do what? Spend some time with the woman to find out what she's about, who she is, what is she capable of, what are her pros, are there any flaws, can I still love them and all? Bars are nice, we know that already, but listen. Flaws and all, yeah, that rhymes. I don't care what nobody says. So all of that, the internet has done all of that work for us, baby. It's done all of the work for us. We see it all, and y'all just can't help yourself. Y'all post pictures when y'all are looking your greatest, right? Y'all go live when y'all can, or some of y'all go live often, right? Y'all showing off your SUVs, your jewelry, the restaurant that you eating in, you know what I mean? What do they call it? The boomerang videos with your titties at the turtleneck and all that. Like, we see it all, and we like, okay. Men these days are not going for the okie doke anymore. They saying, okay, the lemon ain't worth the squeeze, yada, yada, yada. I've seen what I needed to see about this woman. So remember in the Sag video when I said dating the Sag? When I was like, yo, sometimes Pisces, we back away because we don't want to become a woman's entertainment. This is what I'm talking about. It's like we be sitting there with our popcorn looking at y'all social media profiles like, you know what? She's a cool chick. She's entertaining. She look good or whatever. Yeah, she do her thing, whatever. Yeah. But okay. Swipe. You understand what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Where can I fit in? Because there's a flip side to that too, right? We'll get in your inbox. Hey, mom, what's up? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Then you leave niggas on red. And mind you, right? Your display, your profile is for the world to see. It's public, right? But a nigga try to get exclusive with you, try to get intimate with you, try to get one-on-one with you, try to match your frequency, right? Because he's seen enough to see where he could get in, where he could fit in, shoot you a DM, you leave him on red. The nigga call you on Messenger. Brrr, you make a public post. Why niggas think they could call me on Messenger? Who told these niggas? Right or wrong? And some niggas like, you know, what do you expect from dude? And then it's the classic one, right? It'll send me a pic. You'll be like, you ain't see my profile? All my pictures are on my profile. That's not the point, man. That ain't why a nigga asked you for a pic. Nigga asked you for a pic to get something exclusive that everyone didn't see. You understand what I'm saying? So now you making it, you revealing yourself, you revealing the vanity about yourself, you revealing the materialistic side about yourself. And I'm not saying that that's fucked up, messed up, or bad. I'm just saying it's impractical to think that you're going to randomly match the frequency or find someone that matches your frequency in the places that you're looking. And randomly is definitely online and the internet. That's random. A lot of women are dating on the internet, so I'm not trying to hear that, oh, but we in the real world and come outside it. No, this is all happening online. I found out how many women are dating online by talking to women, and they like, yo, you don't got that app? You don't got that app? No, I don't got no dating apps. As far as I goes to social media sites, I'm not downloading no dating app, B. It just won't happen. If it ain't in the cards for me, it ain't in the cards. I'm not going that far. Bars. Fucking nice. We know that already. But that's the number one issue. And my thing is this, right? These chicks are, like I said, they're usually loaded. They're usually well off. And if you seen that brokey, if it was given brokey in the beginning, that should have been your red flag to not even entertain it at all. Entertain them at all. You know what I'm saying? So, look. Like I said, we already feel like we're dating you. So it takes a lot of the mystery out of things. It takes a lot of the work and the effort that you're asking for out of the equation. We don't have to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now look, let's say a woman who is well off, I would say a high value woman. Let's take Kevin Samuels, RIP terminology, and put it on a woman. Again, I'm speaking because I'm a man. Ladies, y'all flip the roles and agendas as you need to as we go. But let's say a materialistic, high value woman wants to meet with a minimalist man. She's attracted to a minimalist man for some reason, right? Again, for some reason, we need to know why, right? Because if it was given minimalist, why would you even go there? But let's say that's the issue. And then she's like, she expects them to match the frequency of meeting at the restaurant in y'all SUVs. So the minimalist is going to look at that like, oh, okay, well, that's 14 empty passenger seats in 2 vehicles for the 2 of us to meet at one place. They're already not with it. They're already looking at how wasteful that is. They're already looking at that's not their frequency. It doesn't match their frequency, right? So it won't gel well. What are you going to call them, a brokey? And sometimes minimalist can mean brokey, or it could just mean, but not necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But would you just discard that individual for that purpose instead of, because what was it that showed chemistry? Was it communication? Was it the looks? Was it, you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times, and what's happening is, and this is the ironic part, and a lot of guys are finding it funny, that women are ended up dating and fucking the janitor anyway, the pool boy anyway, Pookie anyway. And it's fucking hilarious to men, because it's like, you was doing all of that complaining, and the reason that they do this complaining and they're upset with men for not matching their frequency, because they're working so hard. And now look, I'm going to bring Kevin Samuels into this again, and I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, but ladies have been working so hard and climbing in the corporate world, they realize that they want to spend that wealth with someone. So they're looking for someone to have shared experiences, right? Meet and match the frequency. But it's just like, did that man frequently build that business with you? Probably not. Did that man frequently communicate with you while you was building that business? Probably not. See, that would have been the patterns and the frequencies that they would have been comfortable in when you generated all of that. So they would have respected you more when you came across as like, oh, I got my Benz parked outside, come get in, da 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 da. They'd have been more safe in that pattern, maybe, But because y'all don't have any chemistry already, you don't have any frequent patterns as of yet, you can't randomly expect to get into situations with these men and they match you at your frequencies. You see how unrealistic it sounds? And again, vice versa, same men with the ladies. I see men all of the time talking about this bitch is a bum bitch and she just want money and this, that, and the third and da 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 da. Well, if you posting all of the time with your cash and you're like spreading it down your arms or whatever the case may be, what do you think you're promotion? What do you think you're promoting? And this is what I'm saying. And where are you looking for these women? Where are you looking for these men? Y'all are in the wrong place seeking for these men and women. And that is the issue. That's the issue. Because again, men are not going for the okie doke with the spending their what they have, whatever they have on you just because. And a lot of the times, and I must put this out there as well, right? A lot of the times when women complain, and I mean the rich ones, complain, like I done seen ladies post receipts of how much things cost and all of that. My first thing is, why? Why are you doing all of that? But a sly nigga knows why. You know what I'm saying? Like, that lets a motherfucker know. If you think you're going to fuck with me, look at how much this costs. Look at how much that costs. Look at how much this costs. But it's giving off, it gives the impression that you need help. I'm just keeping it a bean. Now, I might be wrong, but even a minimalist knows, and probably better than anyone, that it takes money to make money. That's why they jumped out of the whole rat race to begin with. Like, hold on, because I notice the more that I make, the more that I break, the more that I, bars, I'm nice, but the more that I make, the more that I spend. And this goes with rich people as well. Like, it's just that they can't control it. It's just like I said, when I was employed in corporate back in the day, I used to just like spend my paycheck in spite of my employer. Like, fuck that. I'm going to get fly. I'm going to be flying these bitches. I'm going to be fly than anybody. Ignorant as fuck, but it was just like my only form of get back for enslaving me. So I get it. People are still caught in that rat race. Like, yo, I got to show this shit, da 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 da. So they showing receipts and stuff like that. All I feel is burdens. Men feel burdens when you do shit like that. Like, oh, I'm feeling burdened before I even get into it. But shorty, and most men are choosing peace over that. Another thing could be this. Y'all be in y'all 30s and 40s, well-accomplished career women and stuff like that, talking about you want to get the big house, match my frequency. I want to have the house on the acres of the land and this, that, and the third. For who? What kids are running around there? Shouldn't you be thinking about downsizing at this point? What kid? What? How many dogs and cats you gonna have? What do we need all of this space for? For intruders? To shoot them down with shotguns? How much longer you think we got here? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like some things are just not realistic out there in the dating world. So this is what I advise, right? Because I would say in closing, I guess I'm going to say in closing, here's what I advise. To meet someone that matches your frequency, because I'm with it. I like it. I like the idea of matching frequencies. I think it makes sense. But if you want someone to match your frequency, if you're on a materialistic level, go to events that are not comprised of going with someone as a date. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's too random and you're setting yourself up for disappointment every time. Go to a casino. Ballers love casinos. People that have money love casinos to gamble it away and see if they can get more. That's what they do. Go to a basketball game and get floor seats. You can afford them and you're going to see ballers. You're going to see people who will match your frequency on the floor seat. They would not be there if they didn't match your frequency. Go to a museum or art gallery. People with distinguished taste are there and they have a lot of money. Go to auctions. They want to buy that stuff. Art auctions and stuff. Go there. If you want somebody that's a spiritual conversationalist, go to YouTube, TikTok. We all over that bitch. Shoot your shot. Get in the inbox bars. Shoot your shot. If that's what you're more resonating with, if that's what the frequency level that you want to be on. If you want to find someone who's a business mogul or something like that, go to one of them Grant Cardone events. You know what I'm saying? Go to those hotel lobbies where they be having those business events and stuff like that. Go to Crypto Fest out in, what is it, Cali or something? That's a thing, right? Like Crypto Fest or something. I know somebody sent me an email from one of them shits before. It was out of town somewhere. Go to one of them shits because you're bound to, the incidence level is going to increase, is my point. And you're going to realize the reality of it. It's a speculation game. It's a game of speculation to find someone who matches your frequency. But you should be entering a dating pool where the frequency of that frequency is high. Does that make sense? I know it makes sense to me. Shit, I had to learn this myself. You know what I'm saying? So, and we all still learning. So get in the comment section and whatever you got to say about this. You know what I'm saying? But just be reminded that, you know, in real life, people, you would want to get with someone to where you can integrate your frequency with their frequency, but it's based on similar taste. So opposites, I'm not a fan of opposites attract. I'm a fan of like attracts like. You know what I'm saying? You can meet someone and initially y'all are matching frequencies because y'all have similar tastes. When that occurs, it's beautiful. What you want to do is integrate it into both of your lifestyles so you can, spend 75 to 80% of the time together. Some people want their mate to be their best friend, their baby mama, their business partner, all of the above. You know what I'm saying? If you can do it, go shoot for the stars. You know what I'm saying? But that's what matching frequencies is about. You know, create a life that can hold all of that. You know what I mean? Because if it's not consistent, like it was mentioned in the SADS video, if it's not consistent, people are going to start feeling unsafe. That's why some people don't like their woman or their man spending too much time away from them. It's too risky. You know what I'm saying? It's not safe there. Motherfuckers get the lurking eyes and temptation and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't say this to hope for the worst. You know what I'm saying? It's not. But it's ideal for both when it's similar, when both tastes are similar the frequency is damn near already there. You know what I mean? All you got to do to work on it is, where we're going to live now, or are we going to move in together, and things of that nature to increase the frequency level. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I do want to say this as well, the more that you compromise in a relationship, the more that there is going to be potential for there to be resentment. So keep that in mind as well. And it's not that you're compromising if you're adjusting to another person's. It's when you both have similar frequencies or matching frequencies, but you got to adjust something like maybe location or maybe, shared responsibilities or something along those lines, then that's cooperation. That's not compromise. You understand what I'm saying? And that's different. Did I leave anything out? No, I think I covered everything, at least for now. So if anything you feel like you want to expand on, get in the comment section and we can do that. You know what I mean? Until next time, I'm out.